Okay, so I just really want to make sure you guys know how dedicated we are to this podcast.
So dedicated.
So Tara and I are both on a work trip right now. So we were, kind of getting ready to post something saying, hey guys, the show is going to be late this week. We're both out of town for work. And somehow we end up in the same city on 2 different work trips. I went and I bought a microphone and basically rented out the employee break room at the hotel that we're staying at.
Yep.
So that we could record this show. Would have done it in the room, but the air conditioner wouldn't go off and it was just making too much noise. And I'm real big on audio quality. So this isn't going to be perfect. It's going to sound weird. It's not going to sound like some official TTRL audio quality.
Right. We're not in the Versatile Optics Media Studio.
But we are. Remember, Versatile Optics Studio is wherever I set up a microphone.
True.
So here we are in Versatile Optics Studio in a different city. Because
Studio B.
Yeah, Studio. Yeah, this is like DEF somewhere. But anyway, also, I was telling a couple people that the show was going to be late, and they were like, oh, there goes my Thursday morning. So we can't let y'all down.
Also, speaking of dedication, I am low-key, high-key, still sick.
Yes, she is.
And can I just go on a rant about my sickness and the elements of life?
Go for it, please.
I just want to say just a lovely, respectful F you to the first doctor that I saw who diagnosed me incorrectly and just gave me a Z-Pack and some cough syrup and sent me on my way. And, you always hear that Z-Packs are like the miracle drug and magical and they instantly heal everything. And I've had them a couple times before and they worked. But this time I felt better at first, right?
Right.
Then I started feeling worse.
Yeah.
Like way worse. Like it's just, I don't understand. I was literally at my wit's end. And so had to go back to the doctor again this week and ended up seeing a different doctor because when you walk in, that you just get whoever's there. And my actual doctor was not in the office that day. So I ended up seeing somebody else, which my actual doctor wasn't there the first time. So this was like, I ended up with 2 randos. Anyway, this time he was like, oh, actually, it's not a respiratory infection or bronchitis. It's actually an ear infection. And not quite strep, but something similar to strep because the strep test was negative, but it is probably some strain of strep, just not the one that we test for. And I was like, what in the world? So now I've got a whole different batch of drugs, but luckily the antibiotics allegedly will knock this out.
I hope so because I'm sitting directly across from her with this Blue Yeti Nano microphone. So we're literally face to face. We're about like 20 inches apart.
We just had an argument about me breathing in his face.
It wasn't even an argument.
Accidentally.
I just suggested, I was like, could you please make sure, be mindful of where you're exhaling. Please don't exhale into my face. I know the doctor said you're not contagious, but doctors are humans, and you already saw one doctor who gave you the wrong diagnosis. So they're not right about everything is what I'm saying.
And the thing about it is, I paid the copay the first time, right?
Right.
Then she was like, if that doesn't do it, come back. So I come back. It should be a buy one, get one free.
I would agree because they missed.
Why would I pay again because your first diagnosis was incorrect?
You don't pay for a second dish if they mess up the first one at a restaurant.
Now, I watch enough Grays and private practice and house and ER to know that doctors don't always get it right. They're just guessing based off of what symptoms you tell them.
Right.
So their only way to diagnose you is by whatever you say is going on. So I get it, but still, I'm still annoyed because I got stuff to do. Ain't nobody got time to be sick.
I ain't got time for you to be sick. As much as I love you and I'm always going to be here for you and take care of you, I'd rather you simply not be sick.
Absolutely.
Because I'm going to do what I got to do for you. But there's going to be times where I'd rather do what I would normally do, which is when you're not sick. And This is one of those times. Anyway, point is, we love y'all for listening to us.
We here. I'm here with my tea.
All 2 of y'all. But we love you. We love y'all for listening and giving us a reason to do this show.
Yes.
So,
can I just say, somebody asked me the other day, like, "Oh, you have a podcast? Well, what's the goal?" And I was like, "What? What do you mean? What's the goal?" I mean, the goal is I enjoy doing it. Like, it's no goal. Like,
yeah. So to be honest, there's not really a goal in mind here. The point of us starting a podcast is when we no longer had access to radio. or at least not the
Which
radio
that's what I
station where
told
we
her.
were.
Yeah.
And we had people who still wanted to hear us. So we're like, you know what? We'll
We
start a
can do it.
podcast
We
at
can do
some
it.
point. And a little over a year later, almost a year later, we started a podcast. But I mean, hey,
We're both comm majors.
We're both
this
comm
is something
majors.
we love to do. It's just like the same reason I write
we both talk
articles.
too much.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And then also, to be completely honest with you, this is a really fun way for us to spend time together.
It is. You know, I'm glad you said that because I didn't know if you felt that way too.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I was thinking that the last episode, I was like, when we finish these podcasts, I feel closer to you.
It's hilarious how you go straight to bed and I stay up like another half hour editing the show
Good night.
to make sure it sounds better than we actually did. And you be sitting there just knocked out. And I'm sitting there with my AirPods and I'm sitting here going through Adobe Audition, tweaking stuff. And
Don't worry. When people ask me, I tell them. They're like, oh, how do you... I'm like, I don't do any of it. Ryan does it.
Yeah, so I'm like co-host, executive producer, technical producer, audio engineer. And I designed all of the artwork too. So.
Right. So I'm literally just the talent. But
and the promoter too.
And the promoter.
Because I've been trying to let you do most of the social media.
I'm the producer too, because I'll be putting the notes together. Yeah. Anyway, the point is.
Yeah, you're right. She types out all the notes that keeps the show flowing as properly as it does. So we do these shows straight through. We never stop and, we never stop between sections or whatever. Yeah. The one time where we had that one episode with the technical difficulties.
That's the only time we had to, which that felt so
weird. What happened was I was using a different audio interface than the one I was normally using. So I was using that Focusrite, that red box that if you see in anybody's home studio, it's that red box sitting next to the computer. So I bought one of those a while ago thinking, oh man, I need to give me a Focusrite so all my stuff can be legit, right? So I get it. And I was like, okay, this is cool. But then I got a different one. One of the mics that I got it actually off Facebook Marketplace for a really good price, and it just came with another audio interface. And I was like, you know what? Might as well keep it and try it out, see if I like it. Otherwise, I was just finna give it to Mike, honestly. He said he didn't know if he needed it. I was like, okay, just let me know, and then, so if you can have this one. But man, something wrong with that Focusrite, bro. Like, it kept stopping. I was like, okay, let's use the Focusrite for once to see how. Supposedly, so the Focusrite is supposed to be like the industry standard, and it's supposed to sound the best. It kept stopping. Like, there was times where we were talking for like 10 minutes and it wasn't recording and I didn't realize it.
Had to go back and redo a whole segment.
Yeah, so there was a bunch of stuff we left out of that show because I was like, I'm not finna go back and do this for a third time. So I was like, okay, look, I'm just gonna cut it right here. So that one part where we had the little technical difficulties, sound effect right there, that's what was happening. But anyway, quick shout out to bluedesigns.com. If you're familiar with the Blue Yeti microphones and the Blue Snowball microphones and the Blue Bluebirds and the Raspberries and the Kiwi and the Baby Bottles and all of that, and the Spark, it's a bunch of really, really high quality sounding microphones that are affordable to everybody. Mm-hmm. Again, this is not sponsored. No. I would love to be sponsored by Blue. So anybody from Blue Designs, if you're listening, big shout out to you all.
Yes, we love you.
Shoot us a couple extra microphones, maybe some headphones or something, because they got really cool looking studio monitor headphones that I would love to have that cost so much.
Yeah, we'll try them out for you.
Oh, absolutely. We'll give you an honest review. Like the guys on YouTube. This is what we need to hurry up and put the YouTube stuff back together. We're working on that too anyway. Yeah, so shout out to Blue Microphones for being readily available. I went to Best Buy, grabbed it, and here we are. Pulled it out the box, plugged it up, and started recording. That's what I love about these microphones. And they're super high quality. Like, I've recorded songs on this microphone, and it sounds great. So, with all that said...
here we are.
Yeah, 9 minutes in. Let's actually get started now.
All right. So, of course, like the last few episodes, I got to start off with my girl Beyonce. So we obviously talked about Homecoming coming out last week. She got 60 million for that Netflix special.
Oh, wow.
60 million. Like, I think the standard for comedians is like 20 million.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Oh, and then, well, here's the thing. The thing that I saw said it was a part of a 3-part deal. So this is installment number 1.
Oh, nice.
Allegedly. I don't know how legit that was, but I did see something floating around that said there's 2 more documentaries or whatever it is she wants to bless us with coming soon. So I'm looking forward to that, but also not getting my hopes up because the way I am with Beyonce is whenever she wants to release something, I'm ready for it. But I'm not one of those that's going to be rushing her like, oh, she need to hurry to do oh, she need to hurry to do this. No, she need to do whatever she wants to when she feels like it. And any of her downtime, she need to be with her husband and her beautiful children. So I'm still standing. I'm still listening to Homecoming, the live album on repeat.
Right.
Like that's literally my morning motivation music in the morning at my desk. I'm really hoping that nobody walks in on one of the inappropriate words, but whatever if they do. But
it'll be all right.
But it's so motivational. The thing is, literally, it just makes me want to increase my work ethic. Like I was watching somebody else do a video review. It was actually Kev on Stage, the Righteous and Ratchet. I was watching their review of Homecoming, and basically they were debating on whether or not Beyonce is better than Michael Jackson. Like if she's the new best, of all time, or is she just today's generation's Michael Jackson? Or has she surpassed him? Like they were having that whole debate, and it was just motivating me to stay on my task. Just listening to them talk about her work ethic again, I was just like, you know what? Let me get up and check some emails. Let me get up and make some calls and take care of business instead of having this lovely nap that I was gonna have.
And I can absolutely appreciate that. I love hearing. Honestly, I love hearing you talk about work ethic and doing the best you can and X, Y, and Z, and then doing all that kind of stuff. I love seeing, really, honestly, any woman just going after it and getting it. Get your bag, get your money. And absolutely love seeing my woman grind like that. So that's definitely a good thing for me.
Let me tell you, that used to be me. That used to be me before I even acknowledged that was a Beyonce thing.
Back when you had a planner in the 4th grade.
Yes, I was the kid with the Mickey Mouse planner in the 4th grade. I was always like so about my business and productive and goal oriented and work ethic and career centered. And I'll just be honest, like when I lost my dad, I went into a depression, and then not too long after that, lost my grandmother, and it was just like it doubled it. So it was kind of hard, when you lose people that close to you. Your career focus, or at least for me, it shifted from career focus to family focus. And okay, I don't even care about my career. I'm all about my family. And, so I'm trying to get back to, not necessarily back to career focus, but just balance it out. Like, yes, my family is everything. I need to value that. I need to make time to spend time with my family, my mom, my grandma. Tomorrow's not promised for anyone. But at the same time, got to be about my business, take care of my goals, and work on my career, work on my side hustles, work on, me. So I'm glad that Homecoming inspires me to get back to that, just to look at, the thing about it is it don't even have to be about me singing or performing on stage or dancing. It's just whatever you're doing, do it to that level of excellence. So I love that.
Yeah. So I have this thing where it's like, if you want to do something, you need to work to be the best at it. And if after a while you don't enjoy working towards being the best at something, if you don't enjoy the discipline level that it requires, then it's time to let it go. Move on, find something different.
Absolutely.
So if I ever just get to the point with photography where I'm just like, you know what, I don't really feel like doing this. I think I'm not going to really edit these pictures as well as I normally would. Right. When I get to that level, it's like, okay, it's time to stop. Because if I'm not giving 137%, then I'm not doing it. I'm not going to half-ass anything.
Right.
Ain't no half-stepping around here. Like, if I'm not doing it to death, I'm not going to do it. Because, if my heart's not in it, then I'm not going to put my name on it and say, hey, this is my work.
Right.
That I'll just kind of half did because I was lazy or I feel like I'm too good to actually put the effort into it. So if I have this thing where if you don't feel like, after a while, you don't feel like you're the absolute best to ever do it, then stop.
Exactly.
Get out of everybody else's way.
That's the thing. Like, people put Beyonce on a pedestal, but she's a regular girl from Houston, had a similar background as a lot of people and just found her passion and works hard at it. Yeah. So you and I still haven't watched the doc yet. Did you watch Without Me?
I have yet to get to watch Homecoming.
Okay. I didn't know if you watched it without me or not. You were very busy and I was very sick. So We didn't really have time to watch it over the weekend. I was planning on watching on the weekend, but I was literally in and out of sleep with medicine and basically just watching Grey's the whole weekend.
Yeah.
But can't wait to watch that with you. Speaking of Houston, have you heard about this parent dress code?
I have not.
Really?
Parent dress code where?
In Houston.
In Houston, where?
Independent School District.
Oh, Houston Independent School District. Okay, so that adds another layer. Okay.
Yeah, it's a high school in Houston
dress code.
That instituted a dress code for parents. I think it's Madison High.
Okay.
And
I know some people from Madison.
So the dress code, the rules is basically no satin cap, bonnet, or shower cap. No hair rollers, no pajamas, house shoes, or home underwear, whatever that is. No extremely torn jeans. So I guess if it's like just a couple of tiny holes, that's fine. Like with the trendy ones, but not like, oh, this is too far. No leggings, which I feel like that's a little excessive. Because there's a way to make leggings look cute and classy, but there's also a way to make leggings look sloppy. No crop tops, no sagging, no undershirts, no Daisy Dukes, and no short dresses. What do you think about that? Do you think that's fair or too far?
Sagging twice. Is sagging listed twice, or am I tripping?
I don't think I said it twice. If I did, that was a mistake.
Maybe I could be tripping. Y'all, it's late, by the way. It's almost midnight, and we've been on the road all day. Literally, both been driving all day. Again, dedication, hard work. Like, I could have very easily said, hey, let's just go ahead and skip the podcast. Nah, we finna make it work since we ended up in the same city. That was the thing. So, back to this dress code thing. I
fair
agree.
or too far?
So, implementing a dress code for parents, it's the idea itself, I would say fair. Mm-hmm. I would need to see how this is monitored. I would need to see how this is enforced, because it could very easily be... What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, man, what is that word? Like, it was on the tip of my tongue, and then I just was trying to say it, and then it went away. Discriminatory.
See, and that's what... See, I'm seeing mixed reviews. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. The principal of this school is black. It's a black woman.
Okay.
And so I'm just going to be honest. If it was somebody looking like Betsy DeVos with these rules, I would think it was discriminatory. But because it's coming from a black woman, it's a little bit more palatable for me. And her whole quote was that she's trying to enforce standards. We got to have standards is her whole thing. And we should have high standards for ourselves. I have a lot of friends who are teachers who were like, yes, please, we need this. And I saw someone say the Madison new dress policy for parents is not that crucial. She wants them to be presentable. Why would you want to go to your child's school in a head wrap? Why would you want to sag your pants? And why... Okay, that's inappropriate. But y'all follow the rules when y'all go to the club or you're not getting in. Simple. I feel sometimes we as minorities always find a way to complain about something and be oppositional. Half the parents complaining don't even know their children's grades. Somebody I saw on Facebook posted that.
That's real. And in my mind, the first thing I was really hoping there was someone of color saying this, mm-hmm. because now I can look at it as, okay, ladies, now let's get information. Exactly.
So...
And I in a way, I'm gonna go ahead and say I agree with this, simply because, again, this is a high school,
right?
And you still have to set an example for the children who attend this high school. You know, education always starts in the home, and I'm not saying that. No, okay, so I personally wouldn't go out in public like that. If I'm going to the grocery store, I'm getting dressed.
Right.
I'm generally not going to leave the house in my basketball shorts and my random T-shirt and my slides with whatever socks. When I do leave the house, the lowest I will go is workout attire. So if I look like I just came from the gym, that's one thing. If I'm look like I've been
that's
at the
why
house,
I was thinking leggings could be appropriate if you're like in casual gym clothes or like leisure wear.
Yeah. I mean,
I know some people wear leggings and it looks sloppy.
And so I'm not going to say leggings aren't for everyone.
They're not.
But for some people, it's easier to
look more put together. Yeah.
You know, some people don't require as much effort to pull them off.
Right.
And I'm never going to say you shouldn't wear X, Y, and Z because of the way your body is. But at the same time, some people have to put a little bit more effort into making it look a certain way.
Here's the thing. So I usually have a really strict policy about not leaving the house with my hair wrapped. I leave the house with my hair wrapped. Sometimes it's usually like if I'm going to a 6 a.m. workout, I'm keeping my hair wrapped because after that workout, I'm coming home, showering, and then I'm unwrapping my hair. Yeah, I'm protecting my hair. That's the only time I leave the house with my hair wrapped. And I'm like, these white women in bar are just going to have to see me with my hair wrapped and they're going to have to deal with it because I can't unwrap my hair, sweat it out, and then what am I going to do to get to work looking crazy? Mm-hmm. So that's the only time I do it. If I was going to our kids' school, I would unwrap my hair.
Yeah.
And the thing is, do you remember growing up, the parents with like hair rollers and house shoes were always made fun of. Like, we'd be like, oh my gosh, look at so-and-so's mama.
Yes. Oh, that's another thing. Because it's like you wouldn't want your kids to have to hear about what you wore the next day. Because then the very reason that you were there at the parent-teacher conference, now the teacher calling you back the next day because your kid was fighting because somebody said something about their mama. Because their mama came up there looking like who done it and what for. So it's a vicious cycle.
My only thing is...
But it's preventable.
I'm really curious as to how many high school parents are going up to the school frequently. Because usually it's elementary school, maybe middle.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think my mom went to my high school much after 6th grade.
Yeah. Because, like, by then it's usually drop off or you ride the bus or you are driving.
My mom would drop me off at school and I would walk home or find a ride home, or sometimes I'll ride the bus depending on how I felt that day. Like I had access to the bus, but I just never really rode it. In most cases, I was always involved in stuff that required me to stay after school. So I'd either just walk home or go to the mall after school, or, you know, eventually I had friends who had cars, so I would just ride with them. But after that, my mom wasn't at school much. But what I will say is when I was in elementary school and my mom had to come for parent-teacher conferences and such, my mom would literally only show up in work clothes. So whatever she wore to work that day is what she would show up to school in.
Same. My mom.
So my mom always looked professional at these types of things.
My mom was either looking professional or she was in her scrubs because she's a nurse.
So again, my mom is quite young. So for her to be as young as she was then and still
be able to pull it together.
Right. She would always look presentable. I used to forget how young my mom was because, you know, a lot of times she looked like a CEO of a company, and a lot of times when she was going to work at whatever job she had back then. So my mom would always come to my school in that, you know. Now, granted, as soon as we got home, both of us changing into something more comfortable. She got on whatever t-shirt and whatever pants and whatever, and I'm just putting on something to go outside in and mess it up because I wasn't finna mess up my actual school clothes because, you know, we don't play that. Our mamas do not play that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all had that same experience. So we were basically, you know, and then on top of that, Graham wasn't finna let either one of us out the house like that. Graham did not play that at all.
I will say there is a way to wrap your hair where it looks trendy and stylish and presentable.
Are, you know, a style.
But that's different from...
It's like a hat almost.
Yeah,
it's the same concept as a hat.
But I don't know. I mean, I definitely want to hear from y'all how y'all feel about it because I've seen both sides. I've seen some people saying, like, if there's an emergency and I need to go in and then I don't have time to take my rollers out.
Yeah, that's one thing. But I'm sure you're not finna show up to a conference like that when you know about the conference days in advance and you got time to prepare.
Right. So my question is, how strict are they going to be on this policy?
Right. Now, and I'm sure that the people who will be enforcing this have the sense and wherewithal. I'm going to hope. I hate the word wherewithal.
I love the word wherewithal.
Oh my gosh, I hate that word.
I love it.
I have no idea why I just said that. Now I'm upset with myself. Anyway, point is, I'm sure the people who are going to be enforcing this, you know, will have the common sense and, let's say, humanity.
Yeah.
Because if it's an emergency and I need to get to my child, I may not have time to prepare myself and look spiffy. You know, but at the same time, I do agree with it because, one, if my mom did come to school like that, which she never would, but if she did and then somebody made a joke about how my mama looked the next day, best believe I'm knocking somebody out.
I'm just gonna say this, and this may be like rude, but I feel like even if it was an emergency, my mom would make herself presentable. Because when my sister was in labor, I unwrapped my hair and my mom did her makeup. Like, before we left to go to the hospital. That may be wrong, but it happened. True story.
I mean, I'm not going to say that's wrong, but It's kind of funny.
So what did you think about the gentrification folks walking their dogs saying that Howard should move?
Okay, whoever said that simply has no brain. This is a 200-year-old, not 200, but a very old institution of higher education that is prestigious and prestigious.
I love that word.
I like prestigious better, but okay. Point is, it's a very prestigious higher institution of higher learning.
152 years
152
old.
And basically 200. Yeah. So, first of all, you wouldn't move a campus. Like, you wouldn't move the White House, would you?
No.
You wouldn't move the Pentagon, would you?
No.
You wouldn't move any other historical landmarks, would you?
No. And that just goes to show a lack of respect, because they wouldn't say this about Harvard.
They wouldn't say that about
And they
Harvard.
don't understand Howard is like the black Harvard. Like,
Howard is the black Harvard.
So at the end
Howard
of the day,
is also Howard. So
you can go to a dog park. You should not be walking on a college campus unless you go to that campus, or you teach at that campus, or you work at that campus.
Right.
And even then, I'm not really a fan of you bringing your dogs. I know people do it, dog therapy or whatever, finals week and all that. But I mean,
you can't find nowhere
walk
else
your
to go?
dog in your neighborhood.
Here's my thing. These are the same places where you wouldn't have been caught dead 10 years ago, and now you feel so entitled to everything around you. Who are you, and why do you think everything revolves around you?
It's
Wake up call. It does not.
Right. It's sad because, I mean, gentrification is so real. I remember when I first read about it and learned what it was in high school history class, I was like, what? That's weird. But now being an adult and seeing it happen before my eyes, it's sad. I mean, it just is, because yeah, we all love avocado toast and froyo and all that trendy stuff. But at the end of the day, you weren't here first. You're just infringing on someone else's space and then telling them what to do and then telling them to move.
That's like me. I was trying to come up with an example, but I can't think of one off the top. Point is, like, I'm not finna just come up in nobody else's house and tell them where to put their couch.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, you need to move this couch because it's inconveniencing me in your house. No.
I'm laughing because I just watched that episode of Frasier where he built that Habitat house and then he was trying to tell them how to decorate. And he got mad because they had bad taste. But yeah, you can't do that. So Adele allegedly split from her husband. So you know what that means.
I wish y'all could see the face I just made.
Good music.
We finally finna get 29.
Basically.
The album.
Because 19 and 21
30 or 31. I
was
don't know.
everything.
21 specifically.
Yes.
But yeah.
That's some good music.
Yeah. 19 was classic. 21 was legendary.
Yep.
I couldn't really get into the one after. Was it 24?
Yeah, it was okay.
It was okay. It wasn't bad. You know, it was Adele.
Yeah.
Like, Hello was amazing.
Yes.
I couldn't really get into the rest of it.
Say hello to my new lover.
That was my joint too.
That was my jam.
Send my love to your new.
I knew I had it wrong, but you know what I meant.
River Lee was kind of dope too.
Which one?
River Lee.
I don't remember that one. But yeah, I mean, I think we're
It
gonna
was a
get
good
some.
album.
It was good. It was good.
It was kind of.
But it wasn't no 21.
The episode, true. It wasn't. It reminded me of the episode of Family Guy when they were talking about Barry Manilow. Like, oh, Barry Manilow, he's so terrible.
And then they named all
like,
his.
Yes, you can't hate Copacabana. Carol, or whatever song. This was a pretty good song too. Guys, I love Barry Manilow. And I'll end up at the concert. That's kind of what just happened with this Adele album.
But I mean, yeah, we obviously love Adele, and I mean, it's sad to hear of anyone breaking up. I don't mean to celebrate over her splitting up with her husband. I saw they said that they're still gonna co-parent and all of that, which is just great.
Because you don't want to be like that one girl who sings those songs.
What?
Not slow.
Fast.
Another word for synonym for fast.
Quick.
A synonym for quick.
Hurry. Rush. Big time rush.
Okay.
Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera.
I kind of appreciate that you said big time rush, but that's not where I'm going with that. Anyway,
Fast.
MTV Awards 2009. So all I'm gonna say, that's your last clue. Basically, you don't want to be her. You know, using your relationship experience to write songs. and profit from making up stories about the people you were dating. I'm so baffled that you haven't figured out who I'm talking about yet.
I am too. I feel like I know more people than you do.
You should. Oh my goodness. I feel like I
A
gotta say
synonym
it
for
now.
fast?
Yeah. The race is not given to the...
Oh. Exactly. All right. So speaking of new albums, Missy Elliott will release her first album in over a decade.
About time.
Okay, speaking of music,
she had a single a couple of years ago.
She's had a lot of singles recently. I mean, she has put out.
I remember playing Better on the radio.
Yeah. She's had some music.
I broke that record for a lot of people.
Yeah, she's had some music out that's been good, but she hasn't put out a whole body of work, which I'm ready for.
Right.
So Missy had like pretty much all the hits of our childhood, like our teens.
Yeah. And childhood.
Yeah. I Can't Stand the Rain. Yeah, we were kids when I Can't Stand the Rain came out. And then what was the one with Missy, Tim, and Magoo? Up Jumps the Boogie was my yeah. So I used to know all the words to Up Jumps the Boogie. I bet I still do.
You probably still do.
That's when albums like The Case had the words, so I just sat there and played over and over again and memorized everything.
Oh, man,
I knew everybody's part.
Because half the time I would buy the album thinking that the words the lyrics were gonna be listed in the artwork, that they were not half the time, and I was so mad.
But when they were, that was a treasure. Okay, so anyway, Missy had all the hits.
Yeah.
Best videos, best music videos. I mean, so I haven't missed her, but I know she went away because she had some health issues or whatever, but she's amazing, and I can't wait for that new album. So my last news story is, I'm just going to say all of this is alleged.
Okay.
It's about Ciara.
Okay.
So I saw something that said Ciara filed a petition to change her son with Future's name to Russell Wilson Jr. For some reason, I don't believe that.
I don't believe that. It seems a bit extreme.
It seems very extreme. And the thing is, I have heard that she regrets naming her son after Future, and I do believe that.
What's the kid's full name?
What's his name?
You don't have to say it.
I don't remember.
Matter of fact, let me just pull it up.
His full name is Future Zaire Wilburn.
And what's Future real name? Because I know it's not Future Hendrix. Navadius?
That's his real name?
That's what it says.
Yep. Navadius Demon Wilburn. Wow. So his name is Future Jr., and Future is not even Future's real name.
Yeah, I guess Junior is like kind of, an affectionate name. But
anyway, can I just say, this is why I hate juniors. Mm-hmm. Like, no offense if you are a junior and you're listening in, but I am not a fan of naming your baby Junior, because like that puts a lot of pressure on the child to be like their father. And the father may be great when you conceive that child and when you name that child, but he gonna be flawed in his life. I mean, he may not turn out to be a complete bum or a complete deadbeat, but there's gonna be some things like, what if your son grows up and hates his father or strongly dislikes him, and then it's like has this I don't know, I guess an inner battle with himself. Like, you can't like your own name because you're named after your father, who you're not a fan of. Like, I'm not a fan of juniors. Like, I also feel like you could just come up with a whole new name. Like, he could be David.
True.
So I think if she was to change the child's name, I could see her changing it to something else. But Russell Wilson Jr. is a bit much. That's not his child. Like, he can love him like his own, but at the end of the day, that's not his son. I think that would be really disrespectful. But
what if they have another kid and Russell on his own Junior?
Exactly. So, because I think their kid together is a girl, right?
Girl, yeah.
So, I would just say, honestly, you've already named him Future. That's his name. He's, at this point, I feel like he's too old for you to be changing his name, because you've been calling him that for however long. How old is this child?
Like 4
5 or 6, yeah.
Maybe 6, yeah.
So the thing is, he should be able to get to a certain age, maybe 18, and then let him decide if he wants to change his name.
I would agree.
I also
from Texas.
Yeah. That's why I liked
She was
her
born
when she
in
first came
Texas,
out.
at least.
I also saw something saying that Russell Wilson asked Sierra to take Future off child support, which I'm not sure if that's legit either.
That sounds.
Oh,
I think I did hear something about that. That sounds a bit more plausible than the.
I agree.
Yeah, because the thing I saw said, yeah, we don't need his money.
They don't
They
need his
don't. They
money.
really don't.
Russell Wilson is now what? The highest paid?
Highest paid NFL player. Not quarterback, player.
Right.
So everybody who wears a jersey on an NFL football club, he makes more than all of them right now.
Yeah.
I think OBJ might still be the highest paid receiver, but that's by position.
Right.
We talking about overall players.
Not to mention, Sierra probably still got some, what you call it? Royalties.
Residuals, royalties.
Yeah.
Oh, on top of that, she owns all of her masters now thanks to Russell.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so they're fine. They don't need his money, but I mean, whether or not you need the person's money is not what child support about. Child support is about that's your child.
Yeah.
And you should participate in the support of them. But yeah.
The thing I saw, which could be true or not, basically looked like an interview where Russell was saying sometimes he pays, sometimes he doesn't. So I'd rather just not have my wife be stressed out dealing with it. I'd rather just alleviate that whole level of stress and just keep it in house.
Sounds fair.
Like, that makes perfect sense to me. Now that was me paraphrasing, of course, because I don't remember exactly what what it said because I don't know how true it was. But yeah. What else? I was going to say something else about that. I don't remember. So,
well, that wraps up my little updates on what's going on in the world for this week. Let's hop into obscure news.
Okay. I had an obscure news story, but I don't know what I did with it. Hang on.
So before we get into that, I have one that you actually sent me a few days ago. And it was a story that said a woman discovered she's white.
That's what the thing is.
After 70 years of thinking she was light-skinned. So, and she apparently has this whole book out about it. Now, I want to read her book. So basically, she was adopted by a black family and just grew up thinking she was black. Just thought she was light-skinned because if you were adopted by a black family and didn't know any better, you would think that. I'm just going to tell you what. Off the bat, before I even read the story or watched the video, I looked at this picture of this woman. Now, mind you, this is a picture of her now at 70. She looked like one of my aunties.
Yeah, she absolutely does.
That nose, that's a black woman's nose. That's a Michael Jackson before the surgery nose. That is not.
I just looked at a couple pictures. Wait, is this the same? Yeah, it's the same thing. I just looked at a couple of her childhood pictures. She looked like a little light-skinned girl.
Let me see. Because that's what I was looking for. Okay, show me later. I'm going to
send you this link, though.
Okay, yeah. I was looking to see what more her childhood pictures were, what she looked like in her 20s, because I honestly believe that she is mixed and her biological mom had an affair. And because the video I watched kind of alluded to that she's not so sure if her... who she, thought was her biological dad, if he really was. Because the weird part about the story is the mom ended up, the dad left them. The mom had a really bad accident and was injured and had to give all her kids up. I think it was 4 kids total. She got 3 of them back and then didn't get her back.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense. And then... I just find it hard to believe that, 50, 60, 70 years ago, a black couple could adopt a white baby.
That doesn't seem like something that would have happened.
In any state.
Especially, right, let me say, this is Southern Texas back then. So it doesn't...
I don't see that happening.
But yeah. It could.
I mean, it's just weird. But I really want to read her book because it's interesting to think about. It's kind of like a reverse Rachel Dolezal. She grew up thinking she was light-skinned because she didn't know any better. I really wonder why her parents didn't tell her she was adopted. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I want to read her story and learn some more about
this happened in Kansas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that may have had something to do with it. It may have played a role in the possibility, but,
I still doubt it.
But yeah, I kind of do. Man, this little girl looks like people we went to school with. She does not look like any. She look exactly like this man right here. Click on that link and then look at this. Scroll through the pictures. I didn't even see that arrow.
Oh, did you send me the link?
Yeah, I sent you. I just said I was gonna send you the link, so I sent you the link. When I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
I believe you. I just didn't have that tab open. Wow.
So you scroll down and look. Hit the arrow right there. Right there. I can't see your screen. I'm just assuming.
I'm like, how are you gonna tell me? What? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this. Oh, this is a different one. Yeah, she looks.
Yeah, because that first link I saw didn't show that. So there was actually a couple of people who commented on the story thinking, one, the mom either had an affair and they got rid of the child for that reason.
Yeah.
Or two, the girl is actually black and something didn't add up.
Some may add up.
Again, not my place. I don't know. I want to read the book to figure out what actually happened. We'll get her side of it, her full story side of it. But yeah, she absolutely.
But that just goes to show that your identity is wrapped around, like it's kind of a social construct,
Yeah.
Because remember, Switched at Birth, that girl was raised by white parents, but she ended up actually being Hispanic or Latino.
Sure. I only paid attention to like a little bit of that before I met you or before we started
But
dating.
she was like, basically her parents were like, oh, you get your coloring from your dad's grandma who was
Right, 'cause
Italian.
there's always like, a reason for a verification or
A validation.
Thank you. A validation, late, y'all. A validation as to why something is the way it is, but you never really know.
Until you start really piecing it together.
Yeah.
But anywho, I just thought that was interesting because I can't imagine.
I did too. But yeah, thank you for covering. You kind of covered it for me, so thank you for covering obscure news. Do we have a listener letter this week? And I really said this was going to be a short show, and we already 42 minutes in. So,
all right, well, how many letters do you want to do?
I say let's just do one.
Okay, so
did we get a response from the roommate girl yet?
Not yet.
Okay, I hope she. I hope it's because she's busy moving.
Oh.
I hope she's busy moving. I really hope that's why she hasn't responded to us yet.
Yeah, definitely. I want to hear back from that one. Yeah. Send us an update, please.
So if you're listening, what do we call her? Moesha. Moesha, if you're listening, send us a response because I would love to hear what happened, hear how that played out. So,
as always, if you do have something you want to send our way, send it to askTTRL@gmail.com, askTTRL@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Like I said, it could be something random or something serious that you're going through. Could be relationship drama, work drama, friend drama, or just something that's been on your mind. So,
or if you got a random question that you want a different perspective on.
Yeah.
Either way.
So this week's letter comes from Dante. And
what up, Dante?
Dante said, kind of referencing last week's episode, in terms of in the world of Kodaks, be more like Nipsey. Who are your top 5 unknown rappers who remind you of Nipsey Hussle?
Unknown or lesser known, like not quite mainstream?
I would say not quite mainstream.
Okay, let's start there. Because I can easily name off a few. Chamillionaire. While Chamillionaire did experience a stint of highly commercial success, had like the top selling ringtone. He was like the first ringtone to go platinum. Won a Grammy, had really good album sales and such, and was very popular, both underground and mainstream. A lot of people, after he kind of won a Grammy for Riding, just kind of stopped paying attention. Still was consistently putting out really good music though. Like even up until, I won't say he released a project in 2013, and I listened to it and it was great. Chamillionaire is like one of my top 10 favorite rappers of all time. He is doing a lot of giving back to his community. As soon as I'm not gonna say as soon as he stopped rapping, but while he was still rapping, he started a lot of different business ventures. So he has like a limousine service, party bus service, and stuff like that. Got into real estate as well. Foreclosed on his own house. Like he started a real estate company and foreclosed on his own house because once he, of course, once you get that Grammy money and you You got multi-millions of dollars. Of course, you go buy a mansion. But he was always touring and was never there. So he was like, he made the smart decision and got rid of the house. And was like, you know what? I'm never here. Let me get something that's going to be more economical. Smart man. Also, he's been doing a lot of venture capitalisting. He's become a venture capitalist. Let's put it that way. I don't know what the actual word is. He's been doing a lot of that. You see him go follow him on Instagram right now at CHA Millionaire. That's how I used to spell it on the mixtapes. 3ws.chamillionaire.com because people always say it wrong. Anyway, point is, you can go look at what he's doing right now. He's basically going to be the next Damon John in terms of, helping people with startups and doing like the tech scene especially. So that's one. DJ Mr. Rogers, technically not a rapper, but he's a producer and a DJ. He actually is also a Prairie View alum. I know him personally. Almost like Big Bro, basically. He is a very popular DJ in the South. Multiple awards. Produced a lot of hits like Flex and Daddy Stroke with the Party Boys, and quite a few others. Which actually leads into my next person, Trey the Truth, Houston rapper. I think he's currently signed under T.I. right now, under Grand Hustle. Trey and DJ Mr. Rogers literally went above and beyond times 10 in the wake of Hurricane Harvey when it hit Houston like last year, a couple years ago, whenever it was. They literally rallied all the troops from across the country. They had people driving from like Utah and Idaho, like, hey, I got an 18 wheel, I can come down and help. People just coming out of the woodwork to help them with their efforts. They started Relief Gang, and basically they were, driving through floodwaters in massive trucks to provide aid to people who need it, rescuing people out of houses, going to get people, rescuing small children. And after that, they spent their own money.
Right. Doing stuff that you would think the government should be doing. Basically, like that level, like no actual citizen would be going out, putting their life at risk to save other people.
Right. And these are famous people. These are people who make probably hundreds of thousands of dollars in a month. Like, he's a radio DJ, a nightlife DJ, a producer, and probably there's like 3 or 4 or 5 other things that I'm not aware of. But these are both very smart individuals. If I'm correct, DJ Mr. Rogers graduated from Prairie View with a engineering degree with a 3.99 something GPA, like basically a 4.0, and was such a good DJ he never had to use it. So the man has money. He went out, did his thing. Him and Trey the Truth, I would be in tears, literally sitting there watching all the stuff they were doing. Of course, Houston's like a second home to me. I graduated from Prairie View, had my apartment in Houston. I basically became the adult that I am, being connected to Houston and Prairie View. So it's kind of like a second home to me. But I was up here in Fayetteville, and I was just like, man, I really wish I could be there. I wish I could do something. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, hey, bro, what can I do? Here, I got some cash. I'm going to collect some cash from some people. I'm going to collect some donations. I'm going to collect some clothes. So I sent as much stuff as I could down there. He was like, man, whatever you can do, just send it. And I was like, bet. So big shout out to him, because that was like, y'all, they hit me. They hit me pretty hard. I was like, man, I claim that place as a second home, and I'm not there to do anything about it. So shout out to them.
My family's there, so
and
it is
your
home.
family.
Yeah.
It really is, yeah. So Rogers, Trey the Truth, Chamillionaire. Bun B, of course. I'm talking about a bunch of Texas people, but I'm so very Texas. Bun B is always doing things in the community, giving back, starting programs for the youth, doing things in the community to make sure that people know that their circumstances do not define them, Can't really think of anybody else off the top. You go ahead and I'll try to think of some more, because I need one more.
Chance the Rapper is well known,
Chance, yeah.
But he gives back a lot. I would say he's a little bit lesser known, but he is pretty well known. But he gives back a lot in Chicago, and is always doing some youth program or something in the community. So I really...
Big Sean just started a Shark Tank-like event for HBCU students.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just saw that on Instagram. Shout out to Big Sean.
And honestly, okay, I'm just gonna say I don't know a lot of not well known rappers. Most people that I know about that are not well known, you put me onto.
Right.
But I'm gonna say T.I. gives back a lot. I know T.I. is a flawed individual, But like, remember that time he randomly just bought, was it like Thanksgiving for everybody at Walmart?
Yeah, man walked into Walmart and was like, "Hey, I'm covering bought everybody a turkey or something."
Like stuff like that, I really
Or
love.
no, I think it was Christmas time. He walked in and just
Yeah,
paid
brought
everybody's layaway
parent.
off.
Yeah. About presents.
Yeah,
That's what it was. But yeah, I mean, stuff like that is just like, okay,
I've seen Trey the
you
Truth
don't
and
have to do
Rogers
that.
doing that too.
Yeah.
Like now, I'm talking about them because I know Rogers. I met Trey, and Rogers is a fellow Panther. So, and it's just like amazing to see somebody who basically had a similar start as I did. Went to school here and graduated, and then just started building himself up, and then has this illustrious career and uses his wealth to help people. And I try to do that now with the little bit that I have, but ultimately that's what I want to get to, is being that, like, I don't want to be wealthy for the sake of being wealthy. I want to be wealthy and like make changes. So, and I really admire him for that. So Rogers, if you listening, bro, I appreciate you. Like, you a legit role model, bro. So trying to think of what, there's somebody we talked about enough, I think.
Yeah.
I can't think of like of Big Crit, of course. Big Crit, I see Big Crit doing things like that quite a bit too. Big Crit be trying to keep it under wraps, but we hear about you.
And Jay-Z is obviously well known too, but he gives back a lot, and he does it a lot under wraps too. Because I saw a post of people being like, he would not want me to tell that he did this, but I just want everyone to know he did X, Y, and Z on the low.
That's kind of what I be doing when I do stuff. I'm like, look, I don't want recognition or credit for any of this. So just, I'm only telling you because I live with you and you know what I'm doing. Right. So, but yeah, who else was I about to say? Somebody else. I was legit about to say something else. Oh, well.
So we'll wrap it up with that one for this one, because we're going to keep this semi-short. What?
LOL.
Yeah.
It's already too late.
I know. But again, feel free to email us, askTTRL@gmail.com. And we're just going to wrap up the show with our love life advice of the week. Just a quick tip in general for those of you who are boot up or trying to be boot up. My quick tip is, don't be afraid to communicate about finances. And one thing that I really love about us is I don't think we ever have been. Like, I mean, it may have been semi-awkward in the beginning, but we're pretty transparent. And it almost kind of creeped me out because you always ask me like, hey, I'm about to purchase X, Y, and Z new equipment or X, Y, and Z new shoes. And I'm like, we ain't married. You ain't got to ask my permission. But we live together. So
my decisions affect you in
the
long run.
They do.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. And I just love that we're able to, like, when it comes to things that we're buying, that's for the household, like a new TV or furniture, or things that we have to pay for together, like a big trip. Like, we are really good about talking it out and planning it out. And okay, when is this an emergency or can it wait? When do we need to make this happen? How much are we putting up? Who's doing what? We're really good about being pretty transparent about our finances. And even though obviously since we're not married yet, our finances are still separate, we still communicate because, like you said, our financial decisions impact each other. And we're very transparent about our financial goals, like being debt free and, building wealth so that we can help others. But yeah, I just really love that. And I think that's important because when you look at how many relationships fail because of things like financial infidelity or financial arguments, money fights, I mean, it's a big issue in relationships. So the fact that we're not married yet, and I think we have a good handle on that, makes me feel good.
Yeah, I would agree. So real quick, you mentioned that we were always very transparent about our finances. And when we first started, I ain't had no finances. So I was like, look, you legit pulled me out of a dark place, because I was at a place in my life where I was just, I was like, man, is this really, like, how did I graduate college and I'm still right here? Like, I ain't never been nowhere. Like, seriously. I did not have anything to tell you about when we first started dating. But you somehow saw past that and realized that I was somewhat of a decent human that you could spend a big chunk of your life with, maybe even the rest of it, and then here we are. So the fact that you saw past the little bit of money that the fact that I only had a little bit of money and barely that, because I was like up to my neck in bills and still looking rough. Yeah, so I just feel like, the fact that you were understanding of that in the first place, I never felt like I had to hide anything. So, and on top of that, again, we do live together. We've been living together for quite some time. And, if you need something, I got you. Just like when I needed stuff, you had, like, when we only had the one car and it was yours.
Yeah.
We made it work. So, yeah, a big chunk of why I'm as open to you about my finances and whatnot is because of the fact that what I have now, I wouldn't have without you. So, yeah, so that's a big part of it for me. Fellas, find you somebody who is going to help you build and not just be the person who is waiting on you to build up so they can have whatever. Find somebody that's going to be with you shooting in the gym so that when you do get them big checks, y'all can actually celebrate together.
And that's the beauty of it, because now little things that we're able to do and not really flinch about it or worry about it or stress about it. I remember when we were first starting out, it was like, whoo, that was a problem. Mm-hmm. Or it was like, oh no, we definitely can't do that. So I appreciate where we are now because we started from the bottom and now we're here.
We legit started from the bottom.
So I love that. But the thing is, you could be materialistic and want somebody that has that 6-figure job or whatever the thing is that's you think is, I guess, says that they're successful. But that could end at the drop of a hat. They could get fired. Mm-hmm. It's really less about the materialistic things and it's more about your work ethic, your drive, your goals. And I saw that in you and knew we're going to be all right.
Yeah. And like, to be completely honest, I've always said that, if it came down to it, if I found myself in that position, I would want somebody I want to be with somebody who, understands that it's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies, but if you're willing to be on my team and work with me, then once we get to that point, we're celebrating together. It's like you are not just a part of my success. You're a big reason for it. You are a big, major contributing factor to my success. So that when I'm out here buying $400,000 or $500,000 cars and you got the exact same one, that's why. It's not like, I have all this money, you can come be with me now, and I'll give you this. You have your own determination and drive and work ethic, and that's why. And I think that's why we work so well.
Absolutely.
Because we both got bread, so when we fall, we the crutches. Boosie voice. Mm. So, yeah, I would highly recommend that you this is back to the quick tip. 1, be with somebody who is understanding that things are not always going to be perfect. And that when you're in a relationship, you are more than just partners. You're also teammates. You are literally there for each other. So good and bad, you got to have each other's backs.
Absolutely.
And I absolutely appreciate that about you.
Well, that wraps up.
I'm just going to stop saying the show going to be short because it's now an average length show.
Well, that's fine. I hope that if it's too long for your liking, you're able to pause it and go on about your business and pick it up later and finish
Y'all gonna like whatever come out this bonnet.
Basically. But yeah. Have a great week.
I just hope it sounds okay.
I do too, since we're in a different environment. But that's life. It happens.
Yeah.
Roll with it. Follow us at This Is TTRL on Twitter and Insta.
Follow me at THERY_C as in man, hold up. It's the RYC on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can follow me at TCAR_examiner if you want to, but I'm pretty boring. I don't really post much.
She says that, but I'll take that back. Her posts aren't really boring because most of them are about me. So
lies.
True.
But yeah, this is the podcast this week.
You know what we didn't do?
What?
At the beginning of the show, we didn't introduce the show. We just started talking. We never said this is TTR. Welcome back to another episode.
So this is TTRL.
With that said, welcome back to another episode of TTRL.
Yeah, and welcome away from it.
Welcome away from this is Terra Talks. Ryan listens. Peace.